Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Smiler Worlds. Today we shall discuss how to ace all competitive exams and which are the 10 things that I did right. Okay, so the first question that might come to your mind is that who am I and why should you listen to this podcast? So I'm Kunjaloza. I'm a dentist, prosthodontist. I have been a former resident at Government Dental College, Jaipur. I have aced all academic and competitive examinations all my life, and I can help you do it too. Today I am going to share all my secrets. In 2014, I topped my ICSE board exams with a whopping 96%. In 2016, I appeared for the MHCET examination and scored a whopping 174 on 200. Thereafter, I entered a Bachelor's of Dental Surgery. In my 4-year tenure of BDS, I was awarded multiple Tata scholarships. Again, during my internship, I prepared for Neet MDS examination and I managed to clear it in one go with an All India rank of 141. And following that, I did my post-graduation in Government Dental College, Jaipur in the Department of Prosthodontics. So now, if you too want to ace all your examinations, you are a student or you are somebody who wants to appear for any competitive examinations and do well in your career and get maybe some scholarships while you are graduating, then yes, this channel is for you. And I'm going to tell you 10 things that I did right. Number 1, find minutes in hours. What do I mean when I say that? So most of us have a lot of time on hand, but we don't know how to utilize it wisely. So I'm going to tell you something that you have to set your priorities straight. If you are to appear for a particular examination, you have to tell yourself why it is important for you. Once you have a clear vision as to why the exam is important to you, you will automatically be able to spend more time preparing for it. Now, there are few reasons I can tell you why an exam is important for you. Because let's say you are appearing for GMAT or GRE or any other examination which is going to help you land a job. So that can be one reason. If you are in maybe your 11th or 12th, then it can help you get admission or it can help you secure a good career. And of course, if you are somewhere in your graduation, you can acquire scholarships, Tata scholarships particularly. If you score a decent number, most likely it is somewhere between 70 to 75%, and it will give you financial independence and a sense of well-being. Now, what else can you do to save your time and to utilize your time wisely is that you can use your commute time intelligently. What I mean is that if you are in a city like Mumbai, then you will often have, traveling time of maybe 1 hour or more. So what you can do is you can study during that time and you can be productive. Okay, so now coming to number 2, know what is important. You cannot do well in an examination without knowing what is important. So there is something known as Pareto's principle. Now what did Pareto say? They talked about the 80-20 principle. What does this mean? If there are hefty textbooks of maybe 1000 pages, we do not need to read the entire textbook to clear the examination. They say that 80% of the questions come from 20% of the syllabus that is there. So a wise student will know which all topics to cover for examination. Now you will ask me, okay ma'am, how to know that what topics are important? So there are few ways to know this. One is previous year papers. Second is Viva questions from parallels or seniors. Third is your notes from coaching institutes. And lectures from coaching institutes because they'll give you more content in less time. Number 3 is having your own study buddy. What does this mean? That oftentimes you lack motivation or you lose motivation as you progress into your journey. Let's say if you're preparing for an entrance examination which needs you to prepare for 1 year or slightly more, then you might lose motivation. So if you have somebody as your study companion who has the same frequency of mind as you have and who is equally determined, then you can often discuss, you can motivate each other, you can share notes, and that will be a good way to be in sync with the syllabus. So number 4 and very important thing is to give mock tests. I have often seen students who are preparing but they are not appearing for mock tests because they feel that okay, we are underprepared, or we have not covered the entire syllabus yet. But despite everything, you should appear for mock tests because it is a kind of brain stimulation activity. If you are used to giving tests, it will eliminate the fear on the day of examination. Another important thing is it is an evaluation of your preparation. Even though you might not get a very good score in your mock test, it will give you an estimation of okay, how many questions should I attempt, how much time to spend for a particular question, and how many questions to attempt. Now usually for any examination that has a +4 -1 marking, I would advise to attempt more. Higher the attempt, higher is the result. As long as you have covered the entire syllabus, you should always go for the guess. Let's say there are 4 options in an answer and you are able to eliminate one particular option and you are unsure about the 3. Then also you should go and you should just attempt that question. Number 5, cover all subjects. It means that you must complete your whole syllabus. It doesn't mean that you have to know all the content of all the subjects, but yes, oftentimes I have noticed that people tend to leave subjects like anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, radiology, or OPATH. So a person who the question is not as to which person gets the most difficult questions. No, the one who gets selected is the one who can crack the maximum number of questions. Now how is this going to happen? For a fellow who has read all the subjects and he can get all the simple questions correct and some of the medium or difficult questions correct, that person is going to be the topper for sure. I'll give you my example. When I appeared for my Neet MDS examination in the year 2022, I had 240 questions of which I attempted 234. From that, I got 186 correct responses and I scored 696, which landed me with an AIR of 141. Number 6, early bird gets the worm. Now what does this mean? Let's say you have finished your final year examinations and now you are planning to prepare for your Neet MDS, or maybe you are not somebody who is planning to prepare for exams but you want to go directly for something else. In either situation, what is more important is that you start early off. If you start early, then you have around about 12 to 15 months for your preparation. It will automatically give you a cutting edge over somebody who starts preparing in the last 6 months of your preparation. Number 7, and which is often the most important, is consistency. I have seen students who start off very enthusiastically in their preparation, but eventually they slow down, they lose motivation, and they don't have the will to continue. Now I'll tell you why this happens, okay? So of course, if you are preparing, you must set targets, daily or weekly targets, and these targets must be in terms of time as well as in terms of completion of syllabus. Let's say you have a set target in my mind that okay, I'm doing my internship, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to do my patients, and alongside this, I'm going to study for another 4 to 5 hours. But then you land up in a posting which is slightly hectic, let's say oral surgery or endodontics, which requires you to stand and do your patients for prolonged period of time. That's when you slightly, start to lose motivation during your preparation, that maybe I'm not doing so well. So I'll give you a technique to overcome this. Okay, so let's say we can have instead of just looking at the daily targets and then telling yourself, okay, oh no, today I was not able to complete my 4 hours of preparation, and then being upset about it. What you can do is you can write down your weekly schedule. So what does that mean? If I am to read for 4 hours daily, it means in a week how many hours do I have to study? 28 hours. So instead of feeling bad as to how I could not complete my target today, what you can do is you can sit down on the weekends and then you can complete those targets which you have skipped during your weekdays, because of course most of us are working at some clinics or most of us are preparing alongside our internship. So which is why we might not get enough time. Some of us are also medical officers who have their postings at CHCs and PHCs, and they have ample amount of patient flow and they're preparing alongside this. So yeah, it's important to get an average and then just check at the end of the week if you have completed more than 28 hours of studying, then it's a good thing. You have achieved your target. Now another important parameter is it's not just the amount of time that you spend studying, it is also the amount of syllabus that you cover. Now this can only be done with certain amount of smart studying which can be done. So you have to set a target. Okay, if I am doing my oral pathology right now and I am to do the diseases of bone, then okay, I am not going to spend more than 2 hours for this. First off, I'll start reading the synopsis, I'll start reading the syndromes, and then I'll start practicing the MCQs. So I'm going to limit the time that I'm going to spend on that. Now number 8 is very important. It's about the forgetting cycle or revision cycle. So many aspirants come and tell me that okay ma'am, we have been studying, we have been trying to read the syllabus, but after a month into the preparation, I think that what I read previously, whichever subject I had covered previously, I don't recall it. And why does that happen? So let's have a look into it. See, what happens is that your brain has a limited amount of storage space. Okay. So they say that 50% of whatever you read, you forget in the first 24 hours itself. 75% of whatever you read, you forget in the next 2 weeks, and in 3 weeks, 90% of everything that you've done has already vanished. So how to overcome this? To overcome this, you have to preset your revision cycles so as to, recall clearly. The more you revise, the better you become. So the first revision cycle ideally should be in the first 24 hours. So if I study for 4 hours daily, I'll make sure that next morning I get up half an hour early and I revise whatever it was that I read yesterday. I might not revise everything, but I'll revise those questions which I had star marked, which were difficult for me. I'll revise those concepts, those formulas, those difficult bits, and that's how I'll strengthen my core. So another thing that I would like to do is at the end of around 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I will sit down with the subject which I have completed. Let's say I started off with oral pathology and I gave 2 weeks to complete it. So at the end of 2 weeks, I'll sit down for another 1 day and I'll revise everything that I had read over the 2 weeks to sharpen my concepts. Number 9 is the Pomodoro Technique coupled with meditation. So many times people often have this question that, okay ma'am, you were always an academically bright child, and which is why you have been able to achieve all of this. But what if I have been an average student during my graduation? Can I still pursue my Neet MDS or other competitive examinations and come out with a very good score? Will I be able to focus as much? And the answer is surprisingly yes. Even if you might not have done exceedingly well during your graduation, you can still get a very good score in your entrance examinations if you prepare well for your 1 year period which is there. Now, people often complain that they are not able to focus. So there is a certain amount of resistance or inertia before they start studying, and they are not able to concentrate for prolonged periods of time. So if you're struggling through this as well, I'll give you a technique which is known as the Pomodoro Technique. So what we do is we set a timer for 25 minutes, which is a very doable thing to do. You set a target for 25 minutes, and in those 25 minutes you tell yourself that I'll be extremely focused. Whatever I read, I'm going to retain, and I'm going to put my full energy into this. So because you tell yourself, okay, I just want to read for 25 minutes, instead of telling yourself that, oh, I have to study for 6 hours, it gives you a sense of peace, and it gives you an achievable target. So you just sit and focus for 25 minutes. What you do next is you take a break for 5 minutes. Short break, you can hydrate yourself, you can talk to somebody, and you can come back later. So what you do is you set 4 cycles of 25 minutes each. So instead of continuously sitting and studying for 2 hours and not being able to focus, if you study for 4 slots of 25 minutes each, you will have better productivity and better results in turn. So if you are somebody who can't focus, you should definitely try this out. Once you have completed 2 hours of your Pomodoro technique, you can take long breaks of 15 to 20 minutes, and then you can continue further. Another important thing is the environment in which you are preparing, right? So if you think that your home does not give you a very good ambience, or there are family members or there are relatives, or many of us are living in joint families, or you think that after college you travel and then you just get a lot of fatigue after reaching home, then you can just sit back in the college library or any library elsewhere, which will give you a good environment when you will see that other people around you are focused, they are also studying. It will give you a good environment to study as well. So the 10th point, which is last but not the least, is your temperament on the day of examination. Now, oftentimes I've seen students who do very well in their mock test, but on the day of their final examinations, they somehow mess up. So to overcome this, it is important that we give mock tests for our brain simulation. We have proper amount of sleep prior to our examination. We are well rested, and we have good food prior to examination. So that's everything that's there. These are the 10 things that I did right in my examinations, and if you follow these, you can get them right too. Okay, so signing off for today from my channel Smiloverse. This is the first review which talks about the 10 things that I did right. If you find this video helpful, you can like my channel, you can subscribe to it, and you can comment down below which all topics do you need, which all kind of videos do you need for motivation and for preparing for your examinations. So I'll get more of those videos. Okay, bye.